Alright guys, welcome back. Now this is just going to be my quick review of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Obviously, I've enjoyed the game. I won't say that I have not enjoyed the game, because that's not true, because I did enjoy the game. Now, obviously, some of the great things about the game is the combat was fun. Leveling up was quite fun because it doesn't like most RPGs. The leveling system, every level you go up, you would need more XP to get to the next level, and then to get to the next level is even more XP. This one just levels you up the same every amount of XP you get. So you go up a level and you can put that into skills. So I'm like level 400 odd that right now. So that was an interesting way of doing it. I think that's quite a fun way of doing it. The graphics are good. It's a big world. It is a big world to get yourself quite lost in. The stories are quite interesting. But convoluted, because there's a overall narrative to the whole Assassin's Creed thing, and I've only played 2 Assassin's Creed, right? So I'm not really too up to date with all the old the past gods and stuff like that. And when it jumps ahead to the Layla or whatever her name is kind of narrative, I'm a bit lost there, and they didn't put much time into it. I think because it wasn't very popular when it was when they first started doing Assassin's Creed. When they first revealed it was actually you're jumping back into the past. You're actually in the modern world or in the not so distant future, and they kind of gone, that's not quite so popular, so we're gonna downplay that a bit now, which is fair enough, but they still have it in the game. And that is a big problem with this game, is there's just so many different kind of endings to the game. I've still got this one at the moment to find the order, the hidden ones. I still haven't completed that, and that's kind of like almost a side story, but not at the same time. You've also got the puzzle bits where you play the modern character version of yourself, and then you've got Eivor herself story as well. So you've got like 3 or 4 different kind of like different endings to the game, and the problem with that is they're not alternate endings. So there's not one like ending and then you've got to play through the game and make different decisions to get the second kind of ending. They're all different endings to their own kind of like plot, and I think that just lessens the impact of each of the plot points. I didn't really much care for the Layla and the futuristic part of the game. There wasn't enough time put into it. I didn't really care about the characters too much, and it just seemed a bit of like a side note to the main story of Eivor. But at the same time, playing the Eivor story, because of the whole jumping forwards in time thing and that kind of thing, watered down Eivor's story as well, and I didn't like that. The world is big.
Who wins today?
The world is big, and there's some great side quests and stuff, but it's just not quite. It's not quite full enough, or interesting enough, like say Skyrim or Grand Theft Auto. It's not quite top quality like those games, and when it is so big, it kind of loses itself, because you got smaller games like Ghost of Tsushima, which were brilliant. They were to the point, and they didn't overstay their welcome. This game kind of unfortunately outstays its welcome quite a bit. Just a lot of busy work that didn't seem to impact the game very much. The characters overall, like I said, quite interesting, but lacked a bit of uniqueness of each of the characters, especially with the graphics. Some of the character designs and stuff they all look pretty similar, apart from obviously the main characters like Eivor and Sigurd and stuff like that. But a lot of the NPCs all kind of look very kind of like similar. The building your village up, was great. Obviously, very much suits the Viking kind of like landing on this new world, and we're trying to build it up and stuff. It's building up our own little reputation and village and stuff. Is very nice. I liked the Viking story and stuff, and again, it's the secondary story or third or fourth story strand of Valhalla, going into the Valhalla section, playing as like Odin and stuff, was just not really my thing. Again, it was interesting and stuff, but again, it seemed like a total distraction and kind of watered down Eivor's story a lot as well. Eivor's story is quite gritty and quite real, but then you had the Valhalla section and you had the future bit where and with the world being so big and there's so many side quests, there'd be literally hours and hours of play session where I'm doing side quests and stuff, but I'm not doing any of the story stuff. Which obviously is kind of up to me, but it's easily to get distracted. And then I'm like, oh, actually, where am I in the story? Who's this character when I get back to the story? And this is like, I don't know who that is. And I forget what's going on. And again, that kind of waters the impact of the story down when you do get back into it. It's all a bit unfortunate. And it's a little bit glitchy, a little bit, a few problems here and there with that kind of thing, which is fine. You kind of expect it in such a big game. But yeah, it still hinders the story, the play, that kind of thing. And some of the side quests were quite annoying. Some of them are quite difficult to navigate. I had a story where my character took this potion, they got blacked out, and then I got left somewhere else. I had to get out, and then I had to get back to the person that gave me the potion to tell them off or whatever. But it didn't tell me where this person was, so I just had to randomly bump into them again at some point in in my play session before I could, finish the quest. And there was a few quests like that. It's just like, it doesn't tell you where you need to go. It doesn't really indicate where you need to go. Now, it's like things like, again, Ghost of Tsushima, 60-hour play session. I had my fill. I loved the game. I loved every minute of it. And the combat was great. The world was great. The characters were great. Side quests are good. It was very... There you go. That is the story. That is 60 hours is a great amount of time. If I'm working, that is more than enough. That's a very long game for me. This I started when I was on furlough, so I had time to play it. But when I got back to work, just getting through it was a bit of a chore, because I was played 100 almost 140 hours at this point, and it was just went on, and it was just like, ugh. I could easily just stop playing this and play something else, but I've put so much time into it. I want to finish it off. I want to feel like I completed it after putting so much time in. And again, I think, like I said, this game is great. If you can't afford many games, you can only afford to buy, say, one game per year, or you're so rich you don't have to work. This game is brilliant, because you could lose hundreds of hours into it, doing side quests, exploring, things like that. And that's great, but considering the majority of people who are playing this game work a full-time job, it's not really my type of game that I would probably buy again. I've played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, loved it to bits, had the same issues with it, and I bought this one, and I've really enjoyed it. But again, I do not think I'll be buying an Assassin's Creed anytime soon. The story doesn't hook. Is a bit diluted by the different timelines and the different stories, and the fact that you've got so many things to do in the game. The story's just not quite as impactful as it could be, and obviously I cannot afford to really be playing a game that takes hundreds and hundreds of hours to play and then feel completed, you know. So yeah, great game, but has quite a few issues, and just not for some. You know, if you, like I said, if you absolutely adore these games, or you don't work, or you're on furlough or whatever like that, then this is great. This is great, but not a game I'll probably be investing in again for a very long time. Personally, with all the issues and the problems, it's still a solid game. You know, good central story, good characters, combat, and a quite well built world. So I'm probably gonna mark it out of 10. I'm gonna give it about 7.5 out of 10, because of the kind of like when I got back to work, I was kind of like, I want to finish this. I just want to get this over and done with now. And that's kind of not how you want to have a game, is it, really? So, you know, good, solid game. Just a bit diluted, convoluted story, with the different timelines. Some of the glitches, some of the side quests need to be tuned up a bit. And the open world's a little bit dull. But overall, like I said, good game. I got 7 out of 10. And I'll see you in the next stream. Bye, guys.